Hello, everyone. Good evening. So, if your friends and
Good
family,
evening, Pastor.
if your friends and family want to join, they can also join us on YouTube. I'm putting the link here where it's being streamed as well, in case you all want to share it ahead. Okay.
I'm keeping my video off because I'm not too well. Please, thank you.
Okay. So over the next few Mondays, I've written 4. Maybe we go on longer. We are going to be working towards aligning ourselves to the new consciousness. Now, for the past few years, this transition has been happening for the planet, and I think all of us are feeling the ripples of it. A lot of things are changing for us. Um, Things we used to like and enjoy, maybe we don't enjoy as much so much. Habits, people, even sometimes geographical locations, there are transitions happening. Loss of people, new people entering our lives, and for a few of us it's fairly it feels overwhelming at times to even understand what is happening, why is it happening. So I thought that maybe we'll try to smoothen out this transition. And this transition is that from the old consciousness to the new consciousness. Now, what is the difference? Well, all this while, we have been taught to grow up against the backdrop of an opposite. So, for instance, if your life purpose is to be independent, invariably we are put in situations and places where we are suffocated, we are taught to succumb or listen to things, and independence is maybe even looked down upon, and all those things. And through that backdrop of opposite, we are having to tap into our independence, our self-reliance, and prove that we can still be independent. So that need to prove, that need to uh, have the opposite backdrop so that we can be our true self, or what we are meant to be, has been what the old consciousness is about. And somewhere, because the syllabus was such, a lot of us have gotten distracted by that opposite itself. So, we started to feel that no, we're not good enough to be independent. We, as a woman, we are supposed to say yes to things. This is how it is. Love is equal to suffocation. Love is equal to discipline, and so on and so forth. And so many beliefs we started carrying, though the original syllabus was to prove that we could be independent. But somewhere we lose our way because the old consciousness had this syllabus, which is fairly complicated. And that is where we also picked up programmings of, say, growing through fears. Because we would fear something happening to us, we would push ourselves to do better and grow. Because we felt insecure, to make ourselves secure, we would push ourselves to do better. Yeah, so everything became either a running away from something or a chase towards something, but it had a backdrop of the opposite. And that's when we also picked up programmings like growing through guilts, growing through fears, growing through insecurities, growing through what else, regrets. There are so many of these ways in which we either find love, or we grow, or we think relationships consist of, right? There's so many of us who feel, oh, if we don't fight, then the relationship is not true. Now, I'm not saying or debating whether this is true or false, but when we have a particular kind of thought pattern, then you do anything to prove. And that's what the old consciousness has been about. Now, the new consciousness is that which is filled with inspiration, that which we don't need to run away from things. It's not because we fear anything, it's not because we feel we don't have it, so we want it. There is very little feeling of lack. There is very little feeling of void. There is you don't have to move forward in life against the backdrop of opposite. You just move forward because you like to move forward, and that's inspiration. That's your inner calling. That's when we are connected to our inner space. When we know all that we are okay with that. Okay, and yes, we know we have to become better, but there isn't like this pressure that, oh no, I have to do this, otherwise this will happen. I have to do this, otherwise this will happen. That ultimatums are not there. So the new consciousness is fairly filled with exactly all the radical principles that we all know so beautifully, and that is love, faith, integrity, peace, prosperity, joy, and the core alignment to the ultimate resource energy. Okay, so over the next few recitations, what we'll do is we'll pick up one aspect of what could be either blocking us from aligning to the new consciousness, or our resistance to align to the new consciousness because of our own associations and beliefs that what will happen if the new syllabus comes in. Like, a lot of us want to always be happy. But if you ask yourself, why can't I be consistently happy? Well, then the world will think that I'm mad to be always happy. I could attract jealousy. If I'm always happy, then I will not want to do anything because, then I feel that I have everything, then I will just chill. And then again, stagnation will set in. And so you will not transition to the new consciousness syllabus because of these associations and beliefs as well. Right? So maybe we'll pick up topics, small topics, and do recitations for that. Today, I thought let's work and rewire all our associations of growth that we already have. So, growing through fears, growing through insecurities, maybe something else. So, ask yourself anything that is negative or so called negative in your life, ask yourself, why would you not let go of that programming? Why would you not let go when you know it's so toxic? And somewhere the answer will tell you that it is propelling you to move forward. It makes you want to be better or do better or prove the other one wrong, and hence do better, whichever one it is. The motivation doesn't matter. And that's how you progress. So today, let's rewire these associations of growth. And we're going to use the radical code of R5. R5 stands for revive, recognize, realign, reorient, and reposition. You can use the full form or you can use the short form. This is excellent when you want to rewire and work with associations, when you want to refolder your subconscious mind and let go of the programmings that have been and create new folders. Okay, so for those of you who are on Zoom, you can keep putting on the chat box what you feel are your programmings or your associations with growing so far. Try to keep yourself on mute since this is also being live streamed, but you can put it on the chat box and I'll make it a part of the recitation as we go along. Okay, so let's begin together first. Closing your eyes. Please take a few deep breaths in and out. For the next few moments, breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in a lot of love, a lot of positivity, and breathe out any negative thoughts, patterns, insecurities, fears. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And then return to normal breathing. And in this space, please invoke your highest consciousness. Connect to Redikall consciousness. Request for the presence of masters, any higher frequencies, Redikall masters, healing masters, angels, guides. And let's put out an intent for them to help us, to guide us through this transition with ease, grace, peace, and joy. May we all be blessed with the clarity that is needed for us to grow, progress, prosper with love, faith, integrity, peace, prosperity, joy, and our alignment to the ultimate resource energy. You can take a deep breath in. You can either do this with eyes open or closed, doesn't matter. Let's begin. You can repeat with me or after me. I archive my association of growth with pain. I archive my association of growing through pains. I archive my association of growing through pains. I archive my association of growing through pains. I archive the reason behind this association of growing through pains. I archive the reason behind this association of growing through pains. I archive the reason behind this association of growing through pains. I archive the brilliance in this association of growing through pains. I archive the brilliance in my association of growing through pains. I archive the brilliance in my association of growing through pains. I archive the brilliance in my association of growing through pains. I archive my association of insecurity with growth. 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 I archive my association. I archive the reason for this association of insecurity with growth. I archive the reason for this association of insecurity with growth. IR5, the reason for this association of insecurity with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of insecurity with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of insecurity with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of insecurity with growth. IR5, my brilliance of my association of insecurity with growth. IR5, my association of self-criticism 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 with growth. IR5, the reason for my association of self-criticism with growth. IR5, the reason for my association of self-criticism with growth. IR5, the reason for my association of self-criticism with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of self-criticism with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of self-criticism with growth. IR5, my brilliance in my association of self-criticism with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of self-criticism with growth. IR5, my need to grow because of lack. IR5, my need to grow because of lack. IR5, my need to grow because of lack. IR5, my need to grow through my lack in relationships. IR5, my need to grow through my lack in relationships. IR5, my need to grow through my lack in relationships. IR5, my need to grow through my lack in relationships. IR5, the reason behind growing through lack in relationships. IR5, the reason behind growing through lack in relationships. IR5, the reason behind growing through lack in relationships. IR5, the brilliance in growing through lack in relationships. IR5, the brilliance in growing through lack in relationships. IR5, the brilliance in growing through lack in relationships. IR5, my need to grow through lack of money. IR5, my need to grow through lack of money and resources. IR5, my need to grow through lack of money and resources. IR5, my need to grow through lack of money and resources. IR5, my need to grow through lack of health. IR5, my need to grow through lack of health. IR5, my need to grow through lack of health. IR5, my need to grow through lack of health. IR5, my need to grow through lack of health. IR5, my association of low self-worth with growth. IR5, my association of low self-worth with growth. IR5, my association of unworthiness 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 with growth. IR5, the reason for this association of unworthiness with growth. IR5, the reason for my association of unworthiness with growth. IR5, the reason for my association of unworthiness with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of unworthiness with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of unworthiness with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of unworthiness with growth. IR5, the brilliance in my association of unworthiness with growth. IR5, my need to grow through irritation. IR5, my need to grow through irritation and blame. IR5, my need to grow through irritation and blame. IR5, my need to grow through irritation and blame. IR5, my need to grow through irritation and blame. IR5, my need to grow through irritation and blame. IR5, my need to grow through irritation and blame. IR5, my association of guilt with growth. 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 IR5, my association of fear 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 with growth. IR5, my association of struggles 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 with growth. IR5, my fear of uncertainty. IR5, my fear of uncertainty. IR5, my need for certainty to grow. 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 IR5, my association of disappointments through growth. IR5, my association of disappointments with growth. IR5, my association of disappointments with growth. IR5, my association of disappointments with growth. IR5, my adverse associations 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 with growth. With soul's love, I awaken the truth. With soul's love, I awaken the truth in me. With soul's love, I awaken the truth through me. With soul's love, I awaken the true growth. With soul's love, I awaken me with true growth. With soul's love, I awaken inspired growth. With soul's love, I awaken me growing through inspiration. With soul's love, I awaken me growing through joy and happiness. With soul's love, I awaken me growing through love. With soul's love, I awaken me growing through honor. With soul's love, I awaken me growing through neutrality. With soul's love, I awaken me being the growth. And with that, slowly begin to integrate your energies, coming back into the here and now, into your body, moving your toes, your fingers, your neck from side to side slowly. Rub your palms together. Place them on your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out As and when you feel ready, you blink open your eyes.